Mic'd up.
From Lowlifes. Highlights from Lowlifes.
They tell me to produce, and this is what you get. We're doing the best we can with the limited facilities that we have.
Isn't there supposed to be something goes round and round?
Yeah, that already happened.
We did? Okay. All right.
Welcome to Highlights from Lowlifes, direct from the Stockton Ports Stadium here in beautiful Stockton, California. Tonight we're doing episode 84. 84, yes. Tonight, yeah. Tonight we have a cast of characters here to tell you their favorite baseball ballpark stories of their youth and their present, whatever works for anybody. We'll tell stories about our ballpark experiences on this beautiful night in Stockton, where the members of the Silver Sluggers are assembling for the first time in 2025. These are our beautiful new aqua, or is this seafoam green? I don't know. I think it's seafoam green. Our new jerseys.
It was the leftover color by the printer.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's the only one they haven't used in the last 25 years.
Yeah, that's right.
As you can see in front of me are J.C. Penney and Dave Hall wearing their fabulous Highlights from Lowlifes jerseys with the Almanac sponsorship on one of the sleeves and the Mic'd Up sponsorship on the other. Thanks again to both Almanac and Mic'd Up for letting us do this podcast. We were having a blast. So let's dive right in. I'm going to go first because my story is the best. We'll see. All right. So some of you guys have seen or heard parts of this story, but I'll put it all together. Through a series of events, I was invited by former Giants catcher Bobby Lander to be his escort, date, whatever you call it, for the final game at Candlestick Park in 1999. So Hobie and I traveled to the game together, and we used our passes to get to the VIP area, and we were allowed to jump in an elevator and go up to the second or third floor at Candlestick to enjoy the game from a suite. Hobie and I jumped into an elevator with Dave Rigetti and his family. Dave was the former pitching coach for the Giants and a great pitcher for the Yankees during his heyday. Our elevator got stuck. And for the next 35 to 45 minutes, we were stuck in the elevator, which gives you a good reason as to why Candlestick Park was closing. But I got to know Dave and his family pretty well. It turns out our fathers played golf together at a local country club. We had never met, but it was a great visit with Dave and his family. Finally, we get out of the elevator, which had broken down, and get to our ushered to our suite. And there in the suite, Hobie introduces me to a former Giants player that I didn't know by sight. It was an older gentleman, and he reached his hand out to shake my hand and introduced himself as Hank Sauer. Hank was one of the original San Francisco Giants, but spent a lot of his career with the Cubs and a few other teams. Very nice man. And Hank signed my ticket for that final game at Candlestick Park, so I still have that today. So that was one of my great ballpark experiences. All right, hey guys, who wants to go next?
Well, I will.
I'll go. All right, JC's going to go next, and then we'll rotate through and tell you as many stories as we can in the next hour.
Late 1980s, the late, great Tom the Drip McCampbell, myself, Drew Haydu, and Laith Bragg participated in a Valley Industrial Claims Association golf tournament. As a foursome, we were not good. We did take the trophy for most gross in the scramble, highest score. And I admit we might have overtrained before tee off. We might have overtrained on the course as well. So after the round, Drip and I decided to go to the Egg Council game at the Stick and blow off the dinner, which was after the course. Tom McCampbell had to sneak home and grab his lucky hat with all the pins on it. And so we got to the ballpark just about first pitch, and it was a great game. Giants won. Drip got a Egg Council pin for his hat, but by the time we left the ballpark, the planned banquet was long over. So, and for those of you who might know, Tom's wife, Joy, is a petite, younger girl. He outkicked the coverage on this one, but she started getting suspicious and called one of our co-conspirators, Drew Haydu, who didn't go to the banquet, and woke him up out of a sound sleep, and he didn't have the sense to not tell the truth. So it was divulged that Tom was with me. So we got to my house in West Sacramento at the time, and I walk in time to see my wife standing by our kitchen stand-up phone with the receiver out here, and I can clearly hear from the front door. I can hear Joy McCampbell accusing Tom of being illegitimate, accusing him of performing homosexual acts on some people, and so it was really a bad scene. But my wife saved the day by handing me the stupid phone. So I had to listen to Joy, and Joy wanted to know where the mother trucker was, and I just simply said, Joy, he should be home in 15 or 20 minutes. Bye.
Oh, way to get out of that one.
Yeah. So it was an interesting. The game itself was super. The moments after, not so much.
I have exclusive audio from that.
All right.
You know why he stopped writing books? Because he masturbates.
Do I choose or someone else going to choose?
Okay.
Dave Hall.
All right, well, I'm going to go next, and my story basically is my first experience in a mosh pit. And the mosh pit wasn't in any concert, it was at Oracle Park. It was World Series 2012. It was Giants and the Tigers. I was out in left center field. That was the game that Pablo Sandoval hit not one, not two, 3 home runs. And every time he did, it got crazier and crazier in the outfield. People were climbing over each other when they saw the ball was headed our way. And one of them landed just a few feet from where I was, but there was no way I could get to that because I had people climbing over my back on top of my head, and all I did was just duck for cover. And that happened basically about 3 times. So for the first time in my life, I experienced what a mosh pit must be like when those home runs landed out in the outfield.
Very nice.
That's a good one, Dave.
Brent, why don't you go next?
Teddy bear. Okay.
Marty, you're on deck.
Huh?
Well, when I was working, my boss and I would love to go sneak away from work on a Wednesday day game, drive down to San Francisco and watch a ball game. And so I would send him a meeting request on his Outlook calendar. So it would be accepted. It would block that time out for him. Nobody else could get a meeting in with him. And I just said it was meeting between the Giants and the Braves and the Giants and the Padres, whoever they may be playing at the time. And I'd grab us some good seats. It was a day game, and we'd go down there and we'd watch the ball game. Well, this one particular day, I got great club level seats, 222, second row, I think. So he hit a shot off the end of his bat right up to me. I just stuck my glove up and it caught me, bam, right in the glove. And everybody in our section cheered because I was saving somebody from behind me. That thing was coming up quick. And then I looked at it and I handed it to my boss, Mike, and he looked at it a little bit, handed it back to me. And I looked down the way, just across the aisle from us. We were only like 2 or 3 seats in. There was this young fella. And I just reached over and tossed it to him. He was looking right at me. I just tossed it to him. And then they really cheered in the section. So the game went along, and we had another foul ball just out of our reach. And at the end of the game, the parents of the kid came up with him, and they said, "Can we get a picture of you?" I said, "Yeah." Why? He says, "Well, I want him next to you holding the ball because this is his very first game, and it's his birthday today." Wow. And I said, "Wow, how about that?" So that was, I think, my second foul ball I ever caught, and I won't keep another one. Giving them away was a lot more fun than taking them home and showing them off. That was fun. I enjoyed that. All right, Marty, what's your story?
I got a couple of oddball ones. I'll start with something that just happened the other day that was really something. As you may know, I now work for the ballpark here in Reno for the Aces. And the first homestand was last week. So they're already giving me various jobs. And one of them one night was I was the bag checker. You go through the front gate, you go through the metal screener, and if it goes off, then you hand them over to me, and I go through the bag. Okay, so there I am in front of the stadium. A local company was handing out squishy baseballs to all the kids as they came through, and they had boxes of these bloody things. So they gave one of us each of one. So I took one and put them in my pocket. But sure enough, at about the third inning, people were still coming in, and they finally gave them out to everybody. It was gone, and here's the little boy coming through my gate. Looks over at the other gate where there was two of them, two gates, seeing all the kids with the ball and wondering how come he didn't get one. And I just kind of overheard the conversation. I ran over, grabbed my coat, and came out with this little squishy ball for the kid. And the expression of the kid was what you would have thought. He was great. So it was a plastic wrap. We opened up the plastic wrap to get the ball. Then I turned around and go back, and here's Mom staring me in the face. And the look on her face was almost like it was a marriage proposal. She was so grateful that I gave this little squishy ball to her son, who was really disappointed he didn't get one. And it's a small thing. It was a little thing, but it's great things like that that's going to stick with you. So yeah, that's my latest ballpark experience. I thought it was pretty cool.
Thank you, sir. May I have another?
Good story, Marty. Good story.
Off yours, Lannerman.
Well, we're happy to be here at Banner Island. First off, we want to thank the Ports tonight. They always give us a room where we can do this so we can participate in the game and enjoy the ballpark. If you haven't been to a Ports game, you got to get out here. It's a great ballpark. It's absolutely beautiful. No bad seats. Parking is great. It's a very safe area where the ballpark is, even though you wouldn't know it from outside. But they do a great job to make this a fun experience for everybody who comes out here. So thank you, Stockton Ports. We appreciate you very much. This is my favorite part of the show. We call it What You Drinking. And normally we talk about our Almanac beers and what we're drinking. But first tonight we have a sad story. It's not Almanac related, but it does affect Almanac in the long run. Our dear friend Big Juicy made the mistake of drinking a different brand of beer and then became afflicted with gout. So this has not been reviewed by the FDA, but I'm pretty sure RFK Jr. would say Almanac won't give you gout. So by the way, I'm drinking the Buenos Vibras, the latest in the lager series, the Mexican lager, and this is perfect for a ballpark. Oh my God, refreshing, tasty. I'm happy. What are you guys drinking?
I've got an Almanac True Kolsch. It was the original that I had from Almanac, and I love it, and it's great for a ballpark. Almanac True Kolsch.
Or
Hey, I got a
run,
good
or
seaside
run
here.
golf. That's where I got first experience. The same thing. True Kolsch. It's the best one I got, and they got a lot of good ones.
I got a nice West Coast IPA at Seaside tonight. Tastes great on this nice warm afternoon.
All right. I want to thank Robbie for bringing me my favorite Almanac beer, the original Love Hazy IPA. Thank God I'm drinking this. I've overdosed on Bunny Hill IPA. This is it.
Where's the sours? Where's the sours?
Hi, everybody. I am drinking the Almanac True Kolsch. Hey, Marty, did you know that
He's got his readers on and
You
he's
got
looking
these-
Come on,
Jerry, I'll hold it.
this is really good stuff. Almanac True Kolsch.
We have a special guest appearance from the Panda Bear tonight. I call her Bear, Panda Bear, whatever.
Seaside West Coast IPA, one of my favorites.
All right, well, so there's
Sure.
our almanac. We're enjoying it at the ballpark. It's a pretty great place to be.
Yeah.
And if you get the chance, they were very gracious to us. We went over. I got the opportunity to go with JC and Brent following the Giants opening day. We went over to Almanac after the game was over, and we told them we were from the Highlights from Lowlifes show, and they were nonplussed. But they did take pity upon us, and they took very good pity upon us. So if you have the opportunity to swing by there, and it's such a fun venue, it's an outstanding place to visit. You can, if you're a total beer geek like Dave used to be, you can. There's plenty of stuff to be toured through and see their production. If you like food, they've got plenty of different food. If you've got dogs, they're welcome. You got kids, there's video games and pinball machines, and it's just a great experience. So we highly recommend it. They are definitely one of America's leading craft brewers, and we thank them for continuing to be with us on the show.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Almanac.
Yep.
Well, let me tell you about an experience I had. It was the All-Star game at Oracle Park, well, AT&T at the time, right? Pac Bell.
Oh, yeah.
Goodness gracious. Get your park straight.
And we had season tickets. We had in the far right field, probably even with the right fielder, we had seats 1 and 2. And 3 and 4 were by these two women who drove in from Morgan Hill every game. They had season tickets also. We saw them regularly. But during the All-Star game, you know how they have batting practice? Everybody runs down to the edge trying to catch a ball. Well, one of the left-handed batters rocketed a ball straight into our section, and everybody who was watching realized that there's no catching this ball. It was going a million miles an hour. And so the sea parted, and the two ladies, the one in seat number 3, she wasn't paying attention. She reached down to take a bite of her hot dog and took it right in the forehead.
Ooh.
And she's such a gamer babe. She didn't want to leave. She had a welt on her forehead the size of a golf ball at least, if not, and it was growing to be the size of a baseball. She wouldn't leave because if she were to leave, they wouldn't let her back in and into the stadium. So she did go and get an ice bag in first aid.
Yeah.
She comes back and she was woozy for at least 3 or 4 innings. Her head was bobbing. She had to have a concussion. Her head was bobbing. And so her and her friend finally left the game. It was an amazing feat of skill. All right. So,
All right. Hey, Chuck, tell us the story.
All right.
how about you, Chuck?
Huh?
How about
Okay.
you?
Yeah, well, I would say that a lot of us are going to have our best memories at a ballpark when we were kids. And so my story involves Oakland A's, Oakland Coliseum. I can't remember who they were playing. This was in the late 70s. But they had 100 of us kids kind of line the perimeter around the inside of the stadium as a giant helicopter came over top, big military style helicopter with a gigantic hot dog and a big coil like this, dropped down in the middle of the stadium. At the time, it was the World Guinness Book of Records, longest hot dog in the world. And all of us kids, as it's coming down, got to go out and hold it and everything. We wanted to eat it, but they said, well, it just flew 12 miles from the bakery over Oakland, so probably not good to eat it. So I refrained. But anyway, that's my story.
Well done.
All right. All right. Hey. So Chuck brings up a good point. A lot of us remember ballpark stories from our youth.
I'm almost 12 and
Hey.
I'll be getting a bra
Hi, Chuck.
soon.
So
Well, maybe in a year or so. I can't be playing no dumb baseball.
is that almost over now?
I can play again. Put on your phone.
So when I was 7 or 8 years old, not exactly sure when my birthday happened with regard to this game, but my parents took me to my first baseball game. And all parents know that their kids want to see a baseball game, but they might not necessarily understand the circumstances of the game they take you to. This is 1969 in Chicago. The Cubs are deep in the pennant race. They're battling the Mets to win the division. And my folks think we're just going to walk up to the ballpark and buy tickets. So we did get into the game. The Wrigley Field at the time held 39,000 people. We were part of the 42,000 that were let into the stadium that day. We went late, so we sat on railings or stood the entire time. I remember my very first baseball game. I got to see parts of left field and parts of right field and parts of center. I got to see most of the infield, and we didn't care. We were having so much fun. We didn't know the importance of the game at the time. We just wanted to hear it. So that was my first game, 1969 in Chicago.
Nice.
All right. All right, you guys, JC, got another one?
I do. I do. Script, please.
Uh-oh, more script.
Come on.
Sweet mother of God!
All right.
What is the holdup?
Or score and
Hey, I got you beat, Webby. April 13, 1964. 14-year-old JC goes to Edmonds Field in Sacramento to see the Indians play the Giants in the final game in that stadium before it was torn down. I got to see Willie McCovey and Willie Mays both hit home runs. And I got to see Chuck Hiller hit a double in the ninth, and then Cap Peterson, a pinch hitter, doubled him home for the game winner, 7-6 Giants over the Cleveland Indians. Very, very nice game, very fun for a pretty young kid.
Hey, you got a good memory too.
I thought JC was going to tell us about that game in 1869 when he went with Abner Doubleday to the field in New York.
I missed that game.
But
Abner was sick.
he threw out the opening pitch in the 1919 World Series.
All right.
I'll go next. I got another one. I'll go with another one. So this was a few years back, going to an Angels game against the Twins in the Big A, Anaheim, evening game, but it rained the day before rather heavily. But they wanted to try to get the game in. So everybody's showing up at the ballpark that evening. In 7:05, it's supposed to start. You have a parade of people stomping around in the outfield, and they determine it's too soggy, it's too wet, game off. So now you have, it wasn't a full stadium, but you have 6, 7, maybe 8,000 people there because of the weather conditions and all that. And they said, but we're going to reschedule it tomorrow at 1:05, and you're hearing everybody groan. Oh man, I can't make it back. I want a refund. So I go back the next day at 1:05. There's like 500 people there. So what they do is they make an announcement. Hey, everybody, no matter where you are, come on down. And we all are now trying to pile into those dugout seats right behind home plate. I paid a $25 seat for somewhere way up the first level, but way in the back under one of the overhangs. And now I'm racing down there along with other people, trying to not trip and fall and get to one of those dugout seats, and I made it. I did it.
Oh, good for you.
So that was the
Good
best
one,
seat
Dave.
position I've ever had at a ball game.
There you go.
Who's up?
All right, who's up?
High pop fly. That one be a home run in a phone booth.
So it was opening day. I think it was either 2012 or 2010. One of those. I went with the same boss. We tried to make it an annual event. We've probably been doing it for 13 years or so, JC?
Yes.
With him. We've been going a little longer. But my sister, who also played with all these guys in our league, she has one seat right behind home plate in section 115. And Mike and I got there early, and we had a few beers beforehand, and we went down just to visit with her because they let you down before the game, and I get to talk with her a little bit. And we're standing around there, just shooting the breeze, and these ushers came up to us and said, "Hey, we need some more people to help carry the flag on the field. Are you guys available to go out there and do that for us?" And we said, "Well, yeah, why not?" Every time I take my boss to one of these games, something different happens, and he's always amazed. So we have to leave there. We go down to the not the arcade area, but the promenade there, right along, just outside the ballpark, outside of Cripples Alley there.
Yeah.
And we wait, and pretty soon they bring this flag out, and we all had to kind of hold it. Now, a lot of these people, they had to pay to do this. They're season ticket holders, and they had to go to a practice the day before to do all this stuff, which is nice. That's okay. But they were paid what we just got in there, so we didn't know what to do. But he said, just follow what they're doing. And we figured, you walk out on the flag, you just follow the person in front of you and keep the guy from behind you from bumping into you. And then when it comes down, you roll it out, you gather it back up. So we did. They let us in from the right field gate there, and all of us came around the right field line holding this big old flag. And I walked past JC's front row seats out there in right field, and I said, "Hey, coach, how you doing?" He's looking at me, and Richie Hurts is like, "What are you doing out there?" And we walk out, and then they start playing, and we start pulling it out, and then the Rockets red glare, and we started waving the flag, and then the Jets came across, and then we gathered it back up, and they kept us out there, and they introduced the whole team. And we were just standing up in the middle of the field, having a great time holding the flag.
How big was this flag?
Oh, it went, honestly, Terry, it went from left field to right field. It was absolutely huge. And I was looking to see the engineer and me, looking to see how they put this big flag together. It's all a bunch of zippers in sections, and they're all numbered.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
A to B, 1 to 3, all that stuff. So that was a good time. And Mike was impressed. He'll never forget that. Who else is up?
Sure. Terry?
I'll bet my hot dog is bigger than that flag.
Now you're bragging.
I don't want to know. I don't want to try to verify that. No.
The visual is hurtful.
Yeah.
Marty, you got another story?
Sure.
Go for it. And then
Go
Terry
ahead.
will go after you.
All right. Everybody remembers the A's in the Coliseum. I know it's past tense now, but years and years ago, they had a promotion, and I was at the game with some friends, and all of a sudden, this guy behind me is tapping me on the shoulder, saying, "Hey, buddy! Hey, buddy! Hey, take a look at the screen over there. Take a look at the bulletin board." And they had a big list of the people sitting in the following seats. They listed the sections, the rows, and the seats. Please go see customer service. and they pick my seat. Oh, okay. Hey, thanks, buddy. So I go down there to customer service, and they said you're selected in the home run contest that they're going to have in the 8th inning. So we have a bunch of people, and we're just going to pull names out at random. And if the batter that is batting for you hits the home run, you get. And again, this was back in the 80s. I think it was $200. Grand Slam was 10,000 or something like that. And you get there was even like $50 for a single. Okay. So I said, okay, all right, cool. So I go back to my seat and the game's going on. And sure enough, here comes the bottom of the 8th inning and the game is tied. Okay. So sure enough, I look on this big screen and here's Felicity Know-It-All. The leadoff batter is betting for you. So, and sure enough, this guy walks. So I look up again, and here's my name. Big bold, Marty Brown. Stan Javier is batting for you. And here's the fine print. $50, home run, all that kind of stuff. Okay, all right. So here comes the first pitch. What does he do? Turns the bunt. Playing for 1 run. I'm going, no! I was this close. No, not really, but it sounds good. I forgot who won the game, but what the heck?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Terry. What do you got?
That's a good one, Marty. So I had to be around 8 or 9 years old, and there were times when we couldn't afford 2 seats. Dad wanted me to take me to a game, and it was bat day, and I was set on bat day, and so he and I we drove to Candlestick Park, and Dad only really had enough for 1 ticket, so he bought 1 ticket for me to go in, and the usher brought me in. I got my bat. He took me down to my seat, it was kind of behind the plate, kind of. I remember right on the aisle behind the plate, and he gave me a few bucks so I could get a popcorn or a soda or something like that. Not unfortunately, it wasn't an almanac because they weren't in business yet. But I was 8, and so I kind of chickened out, and I took my bat and I went back out, and Dad and I just went home. That was bat day, my first bat day. And if I look inside the old green duffel bag that's in storage, it might be in there. And, I kind of saved that kind of stuff.
Cool. Terry, I went to bat day too, and I got him a Covey bat, and I used it in East Sacramento Babe Ruth League, and I cracked it, and I had to put a screw in there. I could never bat with it again. And somewhere, I think I still had it until Dad needed firewood or something. But I couldn't wait for bat day. Can you imagine these guys nowadays giving bats out to the crowd?
Not a good idea.
Not a good idea.
I remember bat days at the Coliseum. They gave you a green bat.
Yeah.
And after
That was
2
the
innings,
first bat I ever
come
broke.
off on your hands.
The first bat I ever
Comes out
broke
of
as a
hand.
kid was a
It's all
green bat,
over.
like broken in half at the
Yeah,
hand.
it was made of balsa wood.
It was a Campaneris. I remember that.
Hey, Chuck, you got another one?
Oh, yeah.
Hey, bada, swing, bada. Hey, bada, swing, bada. Kennedy, swing, bada.
Well, I got to issue a correction to my first story. I think that happened in the early to mid 70s because I was a pretty small kid. I was still in utero in his first story. But I just wanted to clear that up. So,
JC encouraged you to
We got another one.
all this swear back then.
Yeah. So my second story, it won't make Giants fans happy because it happened at Chavez Latrine, and this was probably in the early '90s, and I was there for a convention in Los Angeles, and we got tickets to the game, and I saw Fernando Valenzuela throw a no-hitter. So that's my second story.
Excellent story. Excellent.
Thank you.
All right. We're going to kill as much time as possible on this. We fill you in with a few more stories here. 1988. I enter a contest on the USA Today to win 2 tickets to the All-Star Game. Nobody ever wins that, but I won. So I invited my father to come out to Cincinnati with me to see the All-Star Game, having no idea where our seats were. We were just supposed to show up to the ballpark at will call and be given our tickets. My father's family was from the Cleveland area, so we visited family in Cleveland and drove down to Cincinnati for the game. We pick up our tickets at will call, and we're in deep center field. We are so high up, we can't see the center fielder. We can see the left fielder and the right fielder, but we can't see the center fielder. We didn't care. We had so much fun watching the game.
Most or which spot in the outfield you like the most?
Oh, they're piping the radio into our booth here. Anyway, we enjoyed this game in Cincinnati. I believe the National League won, and the big deal was that Chris Sabo, the hometown Cincinnati Reds ball player, was the big star of the game. He made a great fielding play. He had a great hit. Boom. It's just a wonderful game, and I'll always remember that. 1988 All-Star Game with my father. Okay? You guys got any others?
Yeah, sure. Who's
Robbie?
Come on, Robbie.
Oh,
Robbie?
okay. I'm probably going to take Terry's third story. But as many of you know, I've been friends with Gary Matthews, the Sarge, for quite a while. And yeah, absolutely. One year he was out here. It was 2011, as a matter of fact. And they were going to do an on-field presentation to Buster Posey of the Rookie of the Year award. And Sarge called and said, hey, I got a couple of tickets if you want to go to the game. And I said, sure. And usually you get the seats, and they're somewhere up the third baseline. They're pretty good seats. When I got to the ballpark, Terry was in San Francisco to play baseball that morning. I had the day off. So I got to the ballpark and picked up the tickets at will call. And I went, it's a suite. Oh, my God. We're in a suite. So I called Terry, like, whatever, just leave the game early. Get here now. We have some. So that's pretty amazing, right? You get there at the ballpark, and Buster Posey's going to get his Rookie of the Year award, and it's a beautiful day for baseball, and we're in the suite, and Terry and I are in the suite, and there's nobody else there, and it's like, oh, this is our suite. It's just us in here. This is amazing. So we watched the whole Rookie of the Year ceremony with John Montefusco was there, and all the former Giant Rookies of the Year.
And it was fully stocked.
Yes,
it was ready for an army with food and treats and everything.
All the Rookies of the Year that the Giants have ever had were all on the field to be there at the same time Buster got his presentation. So John Montefusco and Orlando Cepeda, McCovey was down there.
We're standing on the rail going, oh, look, there's Montefusco. Hey, look, there's Matthews. There's Buster Posey.
So they finished the ceremony, and we're still sitting in this suite kind of looking around going, we got a private suite just for the two of us. The next thing you know, John Montefusco walks into the suite. And then Orlando Cepeda walks into the suite. And then Gary Matthews walks in. We ended up watching the game with all the former Giants Rookies of the Year in this suite.
Wow.
It was unbelievable. It was just, I don't remember who won, who lost.
It was a dream come true. It really was.
And
Sarge came through.
Sarge came through. I was just happy to be at the ballpark that day. So this was gravy. So thank God I wore good clothes.
Not like what you were today.
Hey, Gus the Asparagus, the original mascot, and some might argue the best mascot for the Stockton Ports. Gotta represent. Anyway, that's my story.
Thanks, Sarge.
Absolutely.
Oh, while I'm up here, I've got one more. My girlfriend and I, we go to the game during the Barry Bonds home run race. Cass says, I think I'm going to videotape this at bat. Boom, he hits it into center field, 756.
Wow.
On video. He's like, people will say, you're lying. We've got video. We were there. It was an amazing night. It was beautiful. Amazing. Next batter.
Next batter.
I did. I have a. I'm not
Marty,
sure
Marty,
the
go
truth-
ahead.
I'm not sure of the truth of this story, but we'll go with it anyway. I was an opening day, the opening day, not the Giants opening day, the opening day. My sister and brother-in-law, he's a huge Reds fan, so they asked me to come along to the opening day in Cincinnati. And we decided to do this long before we knew who the opponent was going to be, and of course it was the Giants. And what a party! I mean, for blocks and blocks, the bars, stands, fans everywhere. They had a parade earlier in the day, and Chris Sable was brought up. Chris Sable was the grand marshal of the parade that day. So my sister is wearing her Giants gear, and I must admit I had a Giants jersey and a Reds hat. And then we round into one of these, and we're in the midst of this party, and this little old lady in the Giants outfit says, little old lady in a Giants outfit. So my sister approaches her and said, "Go Giants, go Giants." And she says, "Yeah, we're here for watch my grandson pitch." "Who's your grandson?" "Guess who? Who started that day?"
Logan
Webb.
Logan Webb. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. See, all right. And this is her grandmother, this is her mother, and all this kind of stuff. So they introduced me to Logan Webb's family. And I said, "Well, what do you know? That's kind of cool." So we talked for a few minutes and we took off. And about an hour later, we're at some beer stand. I'm buying some beers, and the ladies come by again. So I said, "Maybe I can buy Logan Webb's mother a beer." She says, "Sure." So there's actual video evidence of me buying Logan Webb's mother a beer in Cincinnati before the opener. So there you go.
Oh, very good.
Okay.
Hey, Teddy Bears,
I got another one.
Yeah,
it
good.
kind of chimes in with yours and a Barry Bonds story. It was May 1st, 2000. I got my sister's seat. She didn't want to go to the game that day, so I said, "Well, I'll buy it from her." And I went down to San Francisco. Park, got in there. Didn't know it was going to be that historic, but I was sitting in her seat when Barry Bonds hit the very first splash hit at Ballpark. Yeah, very first hit. Way out there. He caught all of that. It was fun. Who's up?
I got it.
Okay.
Okay. Again, this is another Drip McCampbell story. This trip was to Ballpark, and apparently authorized by Joyce. It was all good. Well, it was a night game, and we may have overtrained for this game as well. So after it's kind of late when we're getting back, and I kind of doze off, and I wake up, shake my head. What's going on? We're stopped at a stop sign in downtown Fairfield, and I look over, and Tom says, "Where are we?" I got to edit this a little bit. I said, "What do you mean, where the fudge are we? You were driving." He says, "I was." So that's my next story.
Hey, somebody, honestly, stand behind JC on his left shoulder.
The light coming in.
There's a reflection that's kind of taking
Oh,
away
yeah.
from the screen.
No, that's worse.
Now just stand behind him on his left shoulder. Come forward. Come. Thank you.
Easy.
No,
This is
there's a
high-
reflection
high
there. Somebody-
production value show.
Perfect. Thank you. Perfect.
You got it.
Don't move.
I just had to get my beer, which is a nice, lovely,
There are
lovely
priorities and there's
behavior
priorities.
almanac.
All right.
You need to talk about mic'd up.
Should we talk about mic'd up?
Better.
All right.
We only got 20 minutes though.
All right. Let's tell you a little bit about the platform that we're on tonight. You're watching us on Mic'd Up. If this is your first time, welcome. Down at the bottom of the screen is a microphone.
Don't worry, nobody's
Interact with
listening
us
anyway.
And talk to us. You hit the microphone. You've got 30 seconds to leave us a question or comment regarding the show. You can do this once the show is posted, so long before we go on the air, you can leave your question or comment, and we can play it in live on the show. We happen to have one person who has called in tonight. Should we play that now?
Oh, some brave soul. Yeah, okay.
I don't even recognize Marty without his tie. Where's your tie, Marty? Although you look very stiff. Glad to see you back.
So, of course, those of you who don't know, Marty was just recently on a big baseball trip back to Cincinnati area, and he has retired. So there is absolutely no reason for him to ever wear a tie again the rest of his life. This is awesome.
Thank you.
All right, we are using the Mic'd Up app. We're a proof of concept show on the platform. Mic'd Up is trying to sell into sports teams and organizations. The shows you see on the platform are shows that are attempting to illustrate what you can do. We're actually talking to the ports about doing a show here, but one of the shows you might want to take a look at on the platform is called Inside Cal Baseball. Mic'd Up's Jim Darby, who has his own show on the platform, he is also the play-by-play announcer for Cal Baseball. And he, on the Inside Cal Baseball show, will interview players, coaches, the manager of the team. They've done about 6 or 7 episodes now. They're a half hour long. They're really well done. Take a look in the archive. You can see those shows. So check it out on Mic'd Up. And we are here every Wednesday night at 6 p.m. Pacific. So please join us. All right, guys. Any other stories? We gotta get to our game. We've got beer to drink and the ports to root on. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks,
and,
Almanac.
and we'll see you next Wednesday night at 6 o'clock with another show. Thanks for joining in.
Thanks, Almanac.
All right,
Thank you, Almanac.
play us out, Robbie.
Highlights from Lowlifes.